right, hello, Sarah here. Welcome to another episode of You're Fucking Welcome. This is going to be a shorter episode, and it's going to be something that, I don't want to call it a series, but I want to do more of this, of really kind of recording for you pep talks, if you will. Episodes that you can kind of keep in your back pocket or save for when you need them, for when you're going through moments that you're struggling through, or, you're having an inevitable issue, right, that comes up in your life and in your business. And it's something that you can, again, listen to quickly, and it can guide you kind of in the right direction and remind you essentially of what is really going on and what you already know to be true, but you just need that reminder from time to time. And so I've had it on my mind to do for a while, but this weekend I was mindlessly scrolling Pinterest and this quote popped up. And I felt called to share it with you. And I don't know the original source, the original author. If anybody does know, feel free to tell me. I Googled. There was nothing, I couldn't lead back to anything on Pinterest. And so I always want to give credit where credit's due, but I couldn't find an actual source for this. So the quote is, "When a pattern is finally coming to an end, especially one that's been held in your body for a long time, that's also when you'll face the most fear and the most resistance, because being set free actually feels incredibly uncomfortable and unsafe in relation to continuing to play out what you've always known." And I wanted to just bring this up. Number one, it kind of smacked me in the face because it's something that I've said to myself in different words, of course, but it's something that I've learned to be true and have experienced to be true many times before, that, right before an up level, right before a massive breakthrough, right, often comes the breakdown, if you will, often comes the highest point of struggle. And I'm not in a place where I'm struggling in my business. I don't want to say it that way at all, but I feel like I'm in the process of entering into this new phase and this new chapter, as I've shared with you before. And the honest truth is that it's a little bit uncomfortable right now because I'm burning down a lot of the things that have been in place for a long time. And that's not only structural, actual, things that I'm doing in my business, but it's also a lot of beliefs. It's a lot of fear. It's a lot of stories. I'm kind of rewriting the book, if you will, on who I've believed that I was. And that's something that I've been doing for a long time now, as I shared with you, I think in our second episode back about 7-figure, personal shifts that I had. But I am really, again, in this place where I'm questioning everything. And I don't mean that in this conspiracy theorist type of way, but questioning everything in terms of just poking at everything I've believed that had to be true in my business. And more than that, my body stuff, relationship stuff, all of it. I'm kind of just looking at everything through a different lens. And again, questioning, kind of pushing back, poking, if you will, the beliefs that I've had about a lot of things. And again, trying to rewrite how the future gets to go, if you will, and again, doing it all through a new lens. And the truth is, that's really fucking uncomfortable. It's really, really, really uncomfortable. And I've had these moments in my life, specifically around food stuff and body stuff, where, maybe coping mechanisms, certain things I had been, doing, right? Certain habits. And as I start to let go of them, right? The thing that I ultimately want to do, letting go of these unhealthy patterns. But there's this funny feeling of grief as I let go of those things, because I'm letting go of who I've been for so long. And so even though I want to do better and I want to do differently as I move forward, there still feels this ping of sadness to be letting go of who I was or who I thought I was, or even more than that. Sometimes it feels really sad to know that I was somebody for a really long time, or know that I was doing something for a really long time, and now letting go of that thing it means that I spent so much time being the other person that I didn't want to be. And so there's this discomfort, there's this grieving process that kind of happens when you're moving on to something bigger and better and more aligned with who you actually are in the first place. And so I just wanted to share that with you, because I want to remind you that if you are having a hard moment right now, if you are having an uncomfortable moment, if you're having a moment where you're questioning yourself and nothing is working and you can't get out of your head, you're anxious, you're frustrated, you're sad, your emotions are all over the place and you don't quite know why, in my experience, so often that is coming from this place of up leveling. I think a lot of people can honestly say it in quite a manipulative way, right? Where they're kind of trying to push you to believe that you're, onto something. And sometimes they'll use that as a reason to get you to invest in something. And sometimes it's not coming from the most sincere place. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. And so I say that because I want you to know that with every bone in my body, like, I want you to hear me, that I mean it when I say that every single time I have had a breakthrough, whether that is with weight stuff, whether that is with dating, whether it's an income goal, or maybe it's just a shift in my strategy or a shift in my confidence, every single time I have had a big moment, a quantum leap, however we want to say that, it has been prefaced by this time, by this moment of massive uncertainty, massive discomfort, massive confusion. And every single time looking back, I'm so grateful for that uncomfortable moment because of what it did for me and what it pushed me to. And so again, I wanted to record this as a reminder for you that, our businesses, our lives, they're not straight lines. It's not going to ever be a situation where everything is perfect, where you meet the partner, where you make this amount of money, where you hit this number on the scale and everything is going to be smooth sailing. It simply doesn't work that way. You're still going to struggle from time to time, or you're going to have moments where you doubt yourself, whatever it is. It's just, again, I know I say it often, but romanticizing that happily ever after, I think, is one of the most dangerous things you can do, because it puts you into this place of delusion, if you will, and it winds up making you a lot more miserable than you deserve to be. And so again, embracing the ups and downs of all of this, embracing that you're going to have a breakthrough now, and then you're probably going to have another breakdown at some point, and then another breakthrough. And that's why I'm being so open right now in my business in terms of the fact that I am a little bit uncomfortable, because I think that a lot of business coaches specifically would kind of think that sharing discomfort or sharing a difficult moment is the wrong thing to do, because you're not going to be seen as an expert, or you're going to be less likely to attract the ideal clients, and you have to make it look like everything is perfect. And I just don't believe that. And I'm sure there was a time I would have fed into that more so, but I'm sitting here right now as somebody who is really fucking smart, really strategic, brilliant when it comes to strategy. I've built a really successful business, and I know in my heart that once I'm ready to pick up momentum again, once I'm ready to do this new strategy or this new launch, I know that when my heart's in it, it's going to take off. That's not me bullshitting you or blowing smoke. I really deeply believe that. I wouldn't have believed that in the past, but I believe that now because of how many times I've experienced this moment of discomfort. And I know that it often again comes right before the big breakthrough that I want to have. And so because I've had that experience, because it's not the first time I'm dealing with this, I'm able to kind of move through it with a little bit more sanity and a little bit more grace and a little bit more calm. And I kind of just can recognize what's going on here, and I can kind of go with the flow, and I can trust that it's going to get worked out the way that I want it to, instead of freaking out again the way that I might have before. It's growing pains, right? When a kid is growing, sometimes I guess they ache or whatever it is, they call growing pains, right? Some things can hurt, or your feet, whatever it is, right? There's that moment where something is stretching, and it can again be a little bit painful and a little bit confusing. But in my experience, over and over and over again, I have proven to myself that those moments are worth it. Those moments are crucial, critical to your ultimate growth, and they're pushing you to where you're supposed to be. And the more that you can calm the fuck down about those moments and you can observe them, neutrally, right? You can just observe what's going on instead of making yourself wrong for the discomfort and the uncomfortable moment and the struggle that you feel like you're facing, or why can't I get this together, or why don't I understand this yet, or I thought I'd be more motivated by now, so on and so forth. The more you can just kind of be an observer of what's going on and not make it mean something, the faster you're going to get moving and the faster you're going to have that breakthrough. And again, sometimes that means you're really grieving what was and you're sad about what once was, and you're letting go of a lot of old patterns and stories that no longer serve you. But that can feel really sad when you've identified with a way of being for a long time. And I just wanted to again record this to let you know that, you're not alone in that moment of struggle or discomfort. You're not alone in feeling like you're kind of floating and you don't know which way to go. And I want you to know that on the other side of it is something so much bigger. There is that breakthrough coming. And so the more that you can, again, be kind to yourself versus making yourself wrong or forcing yourself out of the shitty moment faster than maybe you're supposed to, the better and the calmer you'll be. And that's what, again, ultimately you deserve more than anything, that peace and that freedom and that sanity, right? Rather than driving yourself crazy for what is common and natural for all of us in life, right? And business, right? It's not a straight road. And again, the more that you can embrace that, I want that for you. And again, especially because I know I've experienced it so much and I wish I had heard this years ago, right? And so I hope this was helpful. I'll talk to you in the next episode.